in just his first weeks as President, Joe Biden has issued a number of different executive orders. A good chunk of them are concerning immigration. Obviously, a lot was changed over the last 4 years under Donald Trump, both in terms of undocumented as well as legal immigration. How big are the changes that Joe Biden has so far committed to?
I think the Biden administration, they made a very clean, aggressive, and clear break with the Trump approach to immigration. And it is impossible to overstate the importance of that break. Now, the question will be, out of all, I say like the 6 or 7 executive orders in the immigration space that President Biden has signed, a lot of them began a process to reverse what the Trump administration did. Now, a lot of those processes are going to take 2, 3, 6 months. Those are going to be 6 months of intense work with a lot of crosswind pressure, both from the left and the right. So what we're looking at is not just the orders that have been signed and the processes that they unfolded, that will unfold, but what are the very specific things that need to happen between now and then? For example, they're going to do a review of legal immigration, of naturalization processes, and is the process as streamlined as possible? That's a great start. Again, the refugee resettlement cap, starting a process to rebuild that pipeline, looking at asylum policies along the US-Mexico border and beginning to invest not only in the protection of those who are seeking asylum, but also the restoration of justice in Central American countries. So these are all great executive orders, but they're going to become much more important, I think, to the livelihood of the American worker and their family in 6 months when they're fully implemented and we start to see actual changes.
Outside of the executive orders, they've talked about possible immigration legislation. That's not one of the things. It doesn't seem so far that would possibly be done under reconciliation. It would likely require some amount of bipartisanship to overcome the automatic filibuster that it would face. Do you think that there are any areas where potentially enough Republicans could cross over that something could be done in this area?
So what the president has said is that he wants to put forward a large plan, not necessarily a comprehensive immigration reform plan, but a large immigration plan that would legalize 11 million undocumented immigrants, reassess and realign our border security programs, and a few other things. I think what the legislative market will bear in Congress are some discrete measures to address dreamers, those who have temporary protected status, which is granted to those whose home countries have been subjected to environmental or political disasters, and third, for farm workers. Now, the best part about this is that in the House, these 2 or 3 pieces of legislation passed last Congress. So they can go through an expedited process in the House over the next month or 2, which puts us in the Senate pretty darn quickly. Even better, just last week, Senators Durbin and Graham reintroduced their version of the DREAM Act. So we're already starting to see some movement in the Senate around bipartisan reforms to the immigration system. But I think, again, at the end of the day, what the legislative market is likely to bear is legalization for dreamers, farm workers, as well as temporary protected status. And let's get those 3 things under our belt and then start to chip away at the rest of the problem.
Were there any other Trump era executive orders, other regulations in immigration that haven't yet been addressed by President Biden that you'd like the White House to take a look at?
Oh, just like 346 more.
Anything in particular stand out as important that might not be getting a lot of public attention right now?
So the Trump administration did a lot of things, say, in the legal immigration system as pertains to universities. Holding universities to higher levels of higher criteria in terms of being able to recruit students or professors. So I think there's a lot of things kind of in the higher education world that have yet to be taken on by the Biden administration. But again, I mean, there are hundreds and hundreds of things for the Biden folks to dig their teeth into, and this is not going to happen quickly or easily, but I think it's important that we're all paying attention and holding them to account.
Well, I certainly appreciate you joining us and keeping us apprised not only of some of the things they're already doing, but also a few of the paths going forward. Ali Noorani, we really do appreciate you joining us.
Hey, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.